Hello, everyone. My name is Ben Wade, and today I'm going to talk about Pavlov's theory of classical conditioning and how it can be used in the classroom. So, to begin with, Ivan Pavlov was a famous Russian psychologist during the 19th and 20th centuries. He and his colleagues studied the digestive processes of canines, and that eventually won him the Nobel Prize. Now, many of us have already heard of Pavlov because of a high school experiment or just a science class in college. But we haven't really applied that to a classroom setting outside of what we have learned in our educational classes. Classical conditioning is the process of repeatedly associating a previously neutral stimulus in order to evoke a conditioned response. Now, Pavlov came up with this theory using the dogs, meat, and a bell. The meat was the unconditioned stimulus due to the fact that it provoked salivation anyway. The bell, at first, was a neutral stimulus. Initially, the ringing of the bell didn't always produce stimulation or salivation, but when introduced with the meat, it became the conditioned stimulus. Dogs were conditioned to understand that if they heard a bell, then they would be fed. And this is explained here in this image. Before conditioning, the food creates salivation. The bell caused no salivation. During conditioning, the bell and the food created salivation, and after conditioning, the bell prompted salivation, and therefore became a conditioned response. Now, this theory can have positive impacts in the classroom. It can be a unique way to get students to listen and pay attention. So, how I plan on using this in my classroom is to tell students to be quiet and then clapping twice. Students will eventually know that if I clap twice, that means to quiet down. Another possible way for me to use this, which I haven't had to yet because I actually have really good kids, but as the year goes on, we'll have to see how that goes. But is to turn the lights on and off and then telling the class to be quiet. Students will see that if the lights are being turned on and off, then it is time to be quiet. By using the classical conditioning theory that Pavlov and his colleagues came up with, teachers can have better control over their class while offering a unique way for the classroom to be ran. Many students don't always listen to a teacher when they just get up and say, be quiet, or take something away if they're not quiet. Instead of doing that, I feel like teachers, and myself included, can better connect with students if we throw in a unique way to get their attention. And Pavlov's theory does that while also making the classroom a unique experience. And that's it. Thank you for listening.